What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can automate a cold outreach agency on Make.com. Let's get started. The first process that we're going to automate for a cold outreach agency is a client sourcing process, where we'll create an automation that collects potential prospects' contact information from our website, then stores the prospects to a tool like Monday, and then we'll send them a scheduling call URL via confirmation email. The second process that we're going to automate for a cold outreach agency is a client onboarding process, where we'll create an automation that adds new clients to a Slack channel and sends them a personalized contract for them to review and sign. We'll also create a scheduling link for an onboarding call and send it to them via an onboarding email. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is a client invoice and payment handling process. Here, we'll create an automation that generates and sends invoices when a new client is onboarded. We'll also set up payment reminders and notifications for overdue invoices. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is the first line writing process, where we'll create an automation that researches each prospect based on their submission and write custom first lines or icebreakers, and then stores the first lines on Monday. So once a new lead is added, the AI processes their data and outputs a first line suggestion. After automating the first line writing process, the next process that we're going to automate in this video is the email sending process. We'll create an automation that integrates with Lemlist to automate adding leads to a campaign. The next process that we're going to automate for a cold outreach agency is a meeting scheduling process, where we'll create an automation that sends booking link when a prospect expresses interest, then sends a Slack notification to the team to follow up. Then after automating the meeting scheduling process, the next process that we're going to automate is the cold call scripts generation process, where we'll create an automation that generates cold call scripts for sales rep before calling the lead. The automation will pull prospects data from Monday to customize each script, then auto send the script to the sales rep before their scheduled call. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is a data extraction from client calls process, where we'll create an automation that uses Firefly's AI to auto-transcribe and analyze discovery calls for better personalization. The automation will also summarize the key pain points into Monday. After automating the process, the next process that we'll automate is the content distribution process, where we'll create an automation that auto-distributes blog posts to Reddit, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And the next process that we're going to automate in this video is the upselling process, where we'll create an automation that auto-sends personalized upsell emails to clients when a campaign ends. And the last process that we're going to automate in this video for a cold outreach agency is a social proof and testimonial collection process. We'll create an automation that auto-sends testimonial request emails to the client, and if a client leaves a review, we'll log in the review to our CRM and send them a thank you email. The first process that we're going to automate in this video is the client sourcing process. Since we are collecting the leads or the prospects using Typeform, on Typeform, I've created a lead capture form that I've renamed to Cold Outreach Agency Lead Capture Form. This is the form that we're going to attach to our website for potential prospects to fill in and give us their contact information. On this form, we are asking our prospects or our potential clients a series of questions. The first question that we're asking them is for them to enter their personal information. On the form, they're going to fill in their first name, last name, and their email. The second question that we're asking them is, what industry is your business in? And here they'll choose either of these options over here. The third question that we're asking them is, who are you trying to reach with your cold outreach? Here they're going to choose either of these options over here. The fourth question that we're asking them is, what is your biggest challenge with lead generation? And here they'll type in the answer right here. The fifth question that we're asking them is, have you used cold outreach before? They'll either choose the yes or no option over here. The sixth question that we're asking them is, do you already have a list of leads? And here they'll choose the yes or no option over here. The seventh question that we're asking them is, what outreach tools are you currently using? And here they'll either choose either of these options over here. The eighth question that we're asking them is, how many leads are you aiming to generate per month? And here they'll type in the answer right here. The ninth question that we're asking them is, would you like a free audit of your current outreach strategy? And here they'll choose the yes or no option over here. So after our prospects or potential clients are filled in our form, we're going to capture their submission and add it to a board on Monday. On Monday, I've created a board that I've renamed to Cold Outreach Agency Clients. This is a board that we're going to add our clients after they've filled in our form and submitted the information. On this board, we're collecting their full name, status, first name, last name, their email, their business industry, target audience, if they have outreach experience, challenges they're facing, if they have a lead list, the outreach tool that they're using, and if they're interested in a free audit. To add our client submission to our Cold Outreach Agency clients board on Monday, we'll need to create a simple automation on Make. So on Make, I've created a folder that I've renamed to Cold Outreach Agency. This is the folder we're going to add all the automations we're going to create automating a cold outreach agency. So on this folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename the scenario to add clients contact info to Monday via Typeform. So we're capturing our client's information using Typeform. I'm going to search for Typeform, and on Typeform, we're going to use the watch response trigger. Yeah, you can see we have two watch responses triggers, one with acid and the other one with instant and acid. The difference between the two, the one with acid only, you need to choose when you like to trigger the module, but the one with instant and acid, it instantly triggers after the client submits the form. Since I would like to choose when I would like to trigger our module, I'm going to choose the watch response trigger with acid only. Here I'm going to create a connection between my Typeform account and Make.com account by clicking on add. Then here you'll name your connection and click on save. A new window will be prompted where you'll choose the account that you'd like to connect to Make. And after choosing the account, your connection will be created. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to close and choose our form over here. Our form is a cold outreach agency lead capture form. And I'm going to click on save. You can see it's asking me to choose where I would like to start. You can choose to start from now since a specific date, all, or choose manually. I'm going to choose start from now and click on save. Now, on our form, I'll click on shares to access the link of this form. I'm going to copy the link of this form and open it on a new tab. Now, to fill in our form this time around as a client, I'll click on start. Then here we're going to fill in the personal information. The first name could be Louis, last name Smith, the email could be louissmith@anex.com. And here I'm going to click on OK. What industry is your business in? You can say e-commerce. Who are you trying to reach with cold outreach? You can say e-commerce brands. What's your biggest challenge with the lead generation? You can say lead quality. And then I'm going to click on OK. Have you used cold outreach before? Yes. Do you already have a list of leads? Yes. What is your outreach tool? You can say they're using Lemlist. How many leads are you aiming to generate per month? 500 leads. Click on OK. Would you like a free audit of your current outreach strategy? Say yes, then click on submit. On Make, we can run this module and see if we've captured our client's information. Yeah, you can see we captured our client's information that we just filled in on our form. Got their first name, last name, the email, the industry the business is in, the target audience, challenges, if they used cold outreach before, if they have a list, the tool they're using, leads they're aiming each month, and if they would like a free audit of their cold outreach system. On tools, I'll first of all delay for 3 seconds to give Typeform some ample time to populate the client's information. And then now we can proceed to add the information on Monday. So I'll search for Monday and search for create an item module. Like we did with Typeform, you'll also need to create a connection between your Monday.com account with Make.com account. To do that, just click on add and rename your connection right here. And then from Monday, add your API key over here. To get your API key on Monday, click on your profile, then click on administration, then click on connections, then API. Here you'll find the API token. All you have to do is copy it and come and paste it right here and click on save. Then your connection will be created. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to close this and choose my connection right here. For the ATM name, we're going to add the first and last name of our prospect, of our potential client. So I'll add Louis space Smith. For the board ID, I'm going to choose our client's board, which is this board right here. Group ID, I'm going to choose the client's list. And then here, we're going to add values to our board on Monday with the data that we captured using Typeform. So here I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose a business industry column. Here we can add the value for the business industry column. Here, we can add a new item, choose a new column, and choose the challenges column. You can add the values for the challenges that they're facing over here. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the email address. And here, you can add the email address over here. You can also add the email address as a text. And add a new item, choose a new column, choose the first name column. And here we're going to add the value for the first name, which is Louis. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose, if they're interested in a free audit, column over here, and add the value over here. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the last name column. And add the value for the last name, which is Smith. Then I'll add a new item, and choose a new column. Then you can add the value of the column, and I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the outreach experience column. You can add the value over here. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. And then I'll choose the outreach tool column. And add the value for the tool right here. Then add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the status column. Here I'm going to choose to label it. We can label these prospects as intake. Then I'll add a new item and choose a new column. I'm going to choose the target audience column. Another value for the target audience right here. And then here I'm going to click on save. Now, after we've added our potential clients to our board on Monday, we'd like to create a scheduling link that we're going to send them via confirmation email. So here, I'll add another module and search for Calendly. On Calendly, I'm going to click on create a scheduling link. Like we did with other modules, you also need to create a connection between your Calendly account and Make.com account by renaming your connection, clicking on save, and choosing the account that you'd like to connect to Make.com on the new window that pops up. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to choose my connection right here. For the maximum event count, you can say 1. In the event type, I'm going to choose the strategy session event. You can create an event type on Calendly and come and select the event type over here. But I'm going to click on save. So these will be a consultation call link. On the call, we're going to see if we can help these prospects. And then we're going to send the consultation call to our client via a confirmation email. I'll rename our email module to confirmation email. And here we're going to add our potential client's email. Right here is the recipient. Subject line of this email could be on the lines of welcome. Let's start growing your business with cold outreach. Content type, we're going to choose plain text, and the content of the email could be on the lines of hi, first name. Thanks for connecting with us. We're excited to help you take your business to the next level through effective cold outreach strategies. We understand that every business has unique challenges, and we're here to provide tailored solutions that work for you. To get started, I'll have to offer you a free consultation call where we can discuss your current approach, goals, and how we can improve your outreach process. You can easily schedule a time that works best for you by clicking the link below, and here we are attaching the link for them to schedule for a consultation call. We're looking forward to helping you generate more leads, improve engagement, and boost your conversions with targeted outreach strategies. If you have any questions before the call, feel free to reach out. Best regards, Brandon, and here I'm going to click on save. Now, to test if automation works, I'm not going to fill in our form again. Instead, I'm going to choose our previous submission that we did. So here, I'll choose where to start and choose manually. I'm going to choose our previous submission, which is this submission right here, and click on save, and then I'll run automation. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we captured our client's information right here, delayed for 3 seconds, and then added our client information to Monday. We also created a consultation call link that we're sending to them via the confirmation email address over here. This is the subject line of the email. This is the content of the email, with a link for them to schedule for a consultation call attached to the email. On Monday, on our client's board, you can see we added a new client right here. The name is Louis Smith. Set as his intake. Here's your first name, last name, the email, business industry, target audience, outreach experience, challenges they're facing, if they have a lead list, the outreach tool they're using, and if they're interested in a free audit of their cold outreach processes. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we've automated the first process for a cold outreach agency, which is a client sourcing process where we are capturing our potential clients via Typeform and adding them to Monday and creating a consultation call link and sending it to them via confirmation email. The next process we're going to automate for a cold outreach agency in this video is a client onboarding process. Here we'll create an automation that adds new clients to Slack channel and then sends a personalized contract for them to review and sign via email. We'll also create a scheduling link for an onboarding call and send it to them via an onboarding email. To automate the client onboarding process, on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to client onboarding. And here, we'll create a webhook that will be triggered after the status of one of our clients changes to onboard. So here I'll click on webhooks, then click on custom webhook. Then I'll click on add. Then I'll rename our webhook to client onboarding. Then click on save. Here I'll copy the link to our webhook, then click on save. Then I'll run our webhook. Then on Monday, on our client's board, I'll click on integrate, click on more integration. Here I'll click on webhooks. Then I like to send a webhook on the status of one of our clients changes to something. So I'll use this template. I'll use another account and paste our webhook URL right here and click on connect. It says fail to communicate to the URL provided. Here we'll need to return this string using our webhook response. On webhooks, I'll click on webhook response. Here I'll have to calibrate this and write challenge right here. Here we're going to add our string. Click on save. Run our webhook again. Then on Monday, I'll click on connect. Our response ran successfully, so I'll delete it and run our webhook to test it. We'll need to set up our webhook first. I'd like to send our webhook in the status of one of our clients changes to onboard. Then I'll click on create automation. To test it, I'll change the status of one of our clients to onboard. You can see our webhook ran successfully. And here, we got the specific client whose status we just changed. To get the rest of the information, I'll copy this pulse ID, and then I'll add another module. And then on Monday, I'm going to search for get an item module. Click on get an item. And I'm going to choose my connection. For the ID, I'm going to add the pulse ID. For the board ID, I'm going to choose our client's board right here and click on save. Now, here I'll run this module, paste the pulse ID right here that we just copied from our webhook. And here you can see we're getting our client's information like their first name, last name, then email, industry, target audience, outreach experience, challenge, release, tool, and free outreach data over here. We can create a scheduling link and send it to our client for them to schedule for an onboarding call. So I'll search for Calendly and search for create a scheduling link module. Choose my connection. For the event count, I'm going to choose 1. For the event type, I'm going to choose the onboarding call. Click on save. Yeah, I will rename this to onboarding call. Then click on OK. And now, after creating the onboarding call link, we can create a contract and send it to them for them to review and sign. We're going to create a contract using PandaDoc. So I'll search for PandaDoc right here. Click on PandaDoc, and I'll click on create a document. You'll also need to create a connection between your PandaDoc account and Make.com account by clicking on add, renaming your connection, and clicking on save. And then when the new window pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to Make. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to close and choose my connection right here. You're going to give our document a name. You can say it's our client's contract. And then here, we're going to create our contract from a template that we will create on PandaDoc. So on PandaDoc, click on template. Yeah, we're going to search for the document that you'd like to create. In our case, we'd like to create a contract. You can see the various templates that we can use to create a contract. You can select any of the templates right here. For example, we can select this one over here and click on add one item. I'll rename our template to cold outreach service contract template right here. And on this template, you can customize it, ensure that it's aligned with the services that you offer in your agency. You can also add images and logos of your company on the template over here. After customizing your template, click on create document. Yeah, give your document a name, then click on continue. And then you can see that our contract was created over here. Now this is the template that we're going to use to create a personalized contract for our clients. So on Make, I'll search for the template that we just created over here. Choose the template. And then here you'll need to add your company's information and the client's information from Andy over here. After adding the information, click on save. Now to test if our module creates a contract for us from our template, I'll run this module. Here we can add an example first name and click on OK. You can see that our module is creating our contract for us. And this is the ID of our contract. Now here, I'll rename this module to create contract. Then click on OK. And then now, I'd like to send this contract to our client as a PDF document. On PandaDoc, I'll click on download the document and download it as a PDF. Here we'll add the document ID, which is this ID right here, and rename this module to download contract. And then click on OK. Now after creating our onboarding call link and our contract, we can also ask our client to join a Slack channel that we'll have created on Slack. So I'll search for Slack, click on Slack, and here I'll search for the join a channel module. Here we're going to add an example channel ID, like this one, then click on save. But if you had not created a connection between your Slack account and Make, click on add, rename your connection right here, and then click on save and choose the account that you'd like to connect to Make. Since I had already created my connection, I'm going to close and click on save. Yeah, I'll rename this to client channel. And then click on OK. And now we can send our client the onboarding call link, the contract, and ask them to join our channel via an onboarding email. I'll rename our module to onboarding email. And here, we're going to add our client's email address as a recipient. Subject line of this email could be the lines of next steps, onboarding call, contract, and Slack access. For the content type, we're going to choose plain text. The content of this email could be the lines of hi, first name, welcome aboard. We're excited to start working with you and set up your cold outreach campaign. Here are the next step to get everything rolling. First thing we're telling them is for them to schedule for an onboarding call. So we're telling them, let's go over your strategy, goals, and campaign setup. Book your call right here. We're adding the booking URL from Calendly. We're also telling them to please review and sign the agreement so we can begin. Then we're adding our contract after we downloaded it over here. The third thing, we're telling them for them to join our Slack channel. You'll find an invitation link to your email. This will be our main hub for communication, updates, and support. Once these steps are completed, we'll finalize your setup and get things moving. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. Looking forward to working together. Best regards, Brandon. And I'm going to click on save. Now, to test if automation works, I'll run it. Then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to onboard. You can see automation ran successfully. We triggered our webhook after we changed the status of one of our clients to onboard. Then we got our client's information. We created an onboarding call link and the contract, and then downloaded it. We're also asking them to join our Slack channel. And then we are sending the onboarding call link and the contract to our client via the onboarding email right here. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we automated the second process for a cold outreach agency, which is the client onboarding process. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is the client invoicing and payment handling process. We'll create an automation that generates and sends invoices when a new client is onboarded. We'll also set up payment reminders and notifications for overdue invoices. To automate the client invoicing and payment handling process, our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to client invoicing and payment handling. Here I will create a webhook that will be triggered after the status of one of our clients changes to send invoice. So here I'll click on webhook, then click on custom webhook. Here I'll click on add, then I'll rename our webhook to client invoice. And then click on save. I'll copy the link to our webhook, then click on save, and I'll run our webhook. Then on Monday, on our clients board, I'll click on integrate, click on more integrations. Here I'll click on webhooks, and I'll use this as our template. Here I'll use another account and paste our webhook URL that we copied, and click on connect. It says fail to communicate to the URL provided. Here I will return this string using a webhook response. So on webhook, I'll click on webhook response, and then over here, I'll write challenge and add our string over here. Click on save and run our webhook. Then on Monday, I'll click on connect. Our response ran successfully, so I'll delete it and run our webhook to test it. But we'll need to set it up first. So I'd like to send our webhook in the status of one of our clients changes to send invoice. Then I'll click on create automation. To test if our webhook works, I'll change the status of one of our clients to send invoice. You can see our webhook is running successfully. So the specific client whose status we just changed. To get the rest of the information, I'll copy this pulse ID, then I'll add another module. Then on Monday, I'm going to search for get an item module. Click on get an item, my connection right here. And then for the ID, we're going to add the pulse ID right here. And then I'll choose our client's board over here. Choose this board, then click on save. And here, I'll run this module by pasting our pulse ID right here and clicking on OK. You can see we're getting our client information right here, like their first name, last name, the email, and the rest of the information over here. Now we can begin the process of generating an invoice and sending the invoice to our client. I'm going to use Stripe as our payment provider. So here, I'll search for Stripe and click on Stripe. Since these are new clients, we're going to start by creating them on Stripe. So on customers, I'll click on create a customer module. Here we're going to add the description of the services that we offer in these clients, which is called outreach services. You can add the email address right here, the name, phone number if you have the phone number, and address, including the shipping address right here. I'll click on save. Here, we're going to start by creating an invoice item. So on Stripe, I'll search for create an invoice item first. Here we're going to add the customer ID after we created them on Stripe. And then we're going to input an amount by a total amount. Here, and add the amount that we're charging them. For example, we can add $2,000 if that's the amount that we're charging them. But remember, the amount that you add over here will be in cents. So you need to add 2 extra zeros to convert this amount into dollars. Currency, we're using USD as a currency. And here we can add the description of our services as cold outreach services. You can choose to add the start period and end period right here, but I'm going to click on save. After creating an invoice item here on Stripe, I'm going to search for create an invoice module and click on create an invoice. For create an invoice module, we're going to add our customer ID over here after we created them. Collection method, we can either choose to charge automatically, send an invoice. If you choose to send an invoice, you'll need to add days until due. For example, you can add 3 days until due. Another description of our services as cold outreach services. Then I'm going to click on OK. Now we can finalize creating our invoice. So I'll search for finalize a draft invoice. And here we're going to add the invoice ID after we created our invoice, and click on save. Now we can send our invoice to our client via email. here, I'm going to add the client's email address as the recipient. So click on emails and add the client's email address right here. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of your invoice for cold outreach agency. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. And the content of this email could be in the lines of hi first name. I hope you're doing well. Your invoice for cold outreach services below. Here we're going to attach the invoice details, select the invoice number, amount, due date, and payment link. So this is the URL that they're going to use to make a payment for services. Then we're concluding the email by saying you can securely complete the payment via Stripe using the link above. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Looking forward to working together. Best, Brandon. And I'm going to click on save. After we've created and sent our invoice, we can also send our clients payment reminder email if after the due date they wouldn't have paid the invoice. So here I'll add another module. Then we'd like to set up a date variable. So I'll click on set variable on tools. And we can name our variable to date and give it a variable value now. And then click on save. On the due date, we're going to check if our client has paid the invoice. So here I'll add another module, and then on Stripe, I'll search for search invoices module. Here we're going to add the custom ID after we created our customer on Stripe. For the status, I would like the status of our invoice to be open. Collection method, you can choose to charge them automatically. Limit it to 1, then click on save. So here, we like to perform a search of our invoice if it's the due date. So I'll set up a filter and label it to, for the condition, we'll say the date should equal to, choose the datetime operator. And here we're going to say it should be equal to the due date. So if it's the due date, we're going to search if our invoice has been paid. And then if our invoice wouldn't have been paid, we're going to send our client a payment reminder email. I already named our email due to payment reminder email. This is the email that we're going to send to our client, reminding them to pay the invoice. We're going to add our client's email address as a recipient right here. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of invoice, and then here we can add the invoice number. Due soon. We can say it's already due. For the content type, we're going to choose plain text. And the content of this email could be in the lines of hi first name. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to send a quick reminder that your invoice number for this amount is due on, then we're going to send was due. Here we can say was due on this date. You can view and complete the payment securely via Stripe using the link below. Here we're going to add the invoice URL. If you've already made the payment, please disregard this message. Let me know if you have any questions or need any assistance. Looking forward to continuing our work together. And here we can set up a filter and label this to payment reminder. The first condition that we can set over here is the amount due has to exist. We can also add another condition where here we can say that the date should equal to, and here we like to send this payment reminder email 1 day after the due date. So on date and time, I'm going to click on add days. And here we're going to add the due date. And we're going to send this 1 day after the due date. So I'll click on save. To test if automation works, I'll run it. Then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to send invoice. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we triggered our webhook after we changed the status of one of our clients to send invoice. We got our client's information, created them on Stripe, created an invoice item, created an invoice and finalized it, and then send the invoice to our client via the invoice email right here, using the subject line. Now we're going to wait for the due date, and then if it's the due date, we're going to check if our invoice has been paid. And if our invoice will end up being paid 1 day after the due date, we're going to send our client the payment reminder email, reminding them to pay the invoice. We can also send a Slack notification to our team to follow up with our client to ensure that the client pays the invoice. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we've automated the client invoicing and payment handling process for a cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate in this video for a cold outreach agency is the first line writing process. I will create an automation that researches each prospect based on their submission and write custom first lines or icebreakers and sort them on Monday. So once a new lead are added, the AI will process their data and output first line suggestions. On Monday, I've created another board that I've renamed to Cold Outreach Agency Prospects. So these are the prospects that you like to send cold emails to on behalf of your clients. Now to automate the first line writing process for these prospects, we're going to use their submissions over here to generate first lines using AI. So to automate the first line writing process on our cold outreach agency, I'll click on create a new scenario. Here, I'm going to rename our scenario to icebreaker and first line writing over here. The first thing we're going to do is on Monday, we're going to list our prospects from our board. So I'll search for list boards items module. Yeah, I'm going to choose my connection. I can limit this one to 1. And then for the board ID, I'm going to choose our prospects board right here. And then here, we like to output column values like their business industry. You can add a new item. Also like to output their challenges they're facing. We'll also like to output their target audience. We'll also like to output their details like their first name, last name, and email. And click on save. Yeah, you can run this module and say we're going to output their data. An example client of then is here's the email address, business industry, target audience, and the challenges that they're facing. With their info that they submitted on Typeform, you can use that information to generate a first line for a cold email. So here another module. And instead of ChatGPT, I'm going to choose to use Gemini. So I'll search for Gemini AI and click on create a completion module. I already named this module first line stroke icebreaker. Click on OK. Here, I'm going to choose the latest AI model, which is Gemini 2.0 Flash. And then here, we're going to add prompts for our user role. Message type, we're going to choose text. And the prompt could be on the lines of research the prospect based on their Typeform submission, which includes their business industry, target audience, and challenges. Use this information to craft a personalized first line or icebreaker that shows an understanding of their business and demonstrate how we can help. The first line should be engaging, relevant, and make the prospect feel understood. Then we're outlining the guidelines for here. Mention something insightful about the industry or target audience. Acknowledge the specific challenge and hit a potential solution. Keep it concise, 1 or 2 sentences and natural, avoiding generic compliment. The tone should be warm, professional, and aligned with their business needs. Only output one single first line or icebreaker. Do not output any explanation. It should only be the first line or icebreaker. And then here we're outlining an example first line. So here I'll click on save. Now after we've generated the first line, we can add the first line to a board that I've created on Monday. On Monday, I've also created another board that I've renamed to call Outreach Agency Prospects First Line. This is the board that we're going to add the first lines. After we've generated the first lines using automation, we're going to also add the first name, last name, the email, the industry, the target audience, and the first line right here. Now to add the first line to our board on Monday, I'll search for create an item module and click on create an item. Now for the item name, you can first of all output the item name on this module. So here, I'll add an item, just output the name over here, then click on save. Now here we can add the name, it should be this name right here. For board, I'm going to choose our first line board on Monday. For the group ID, I'm going to choose the prospect first line. And here we're going to add values to the column on our first line board on Monday. So you'll add one item, choose a column, choosing the business industry, and add the value of the column right here. You'll add a new item, choose a new column, I'm going to choose the challenges column, and add the value for the challenges over here. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the email column. We're going to add the value for the email, which is this email right here. So add the email as a text, and I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the first line column. Here we're going to add the result that we generated using AI. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the first name column. Here we're going to add the first name right here. Then I'll add a new item, choose the last name column. Here we're going to add the value for the last name. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the target audience column and add the value for the target audience. And then here I'm going to click on save. So we're going to generate first line for our prospect and add the first line to our first lines board on Monday. To do that, here I run automation. See, we experience an error. So it's missing value for the name. Oh, okay. So here instead of adding this name, we can add the first and last name of our prospect. So first and last name over here. And click on save. Now we can run automation again. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we like to generate first line for this prospect in this industry. Here's the target audience and the challenge that they're facing. And here we generated a first line for this prospect, and then we are adding the first line to our board on Monday. On our cold outreach agency prospects first line, you can see we added a new first line right here, the one that we generated. So this client, here's their first name, last name, the email, industry they're in, target audience, and the challenges they're facing over here. Yeah, to generate a new first line, if the first one didn't please you, you can run automation again. The automation ran successfully. Here we generated a new first line. You can run it again, generate a new first line. You can see generated a new first line over here. So you can tweak the prompt on the AI to ensure that it's generating a more personalized first line. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we've automated the first line writing process for cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate is the email sending process, where we'll integrate Lemlist with automation to automate adding leads to a campaign. To automate the email sending process, on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to email sending. And here, since we created our first line and added them to the first line board on Monday, right here, this is the board that we're going to get these prospects information and add them to a campaign that we've created on Lemlist. So on Lemlist, I've created this campaign right here. It's a cold outreach campaign. This is the first email that we're sending to our prospects. And we're waiting for 3 days to send a follow-up email. Then we're waiting for another 1 day to send the third follow-up email. And then here, you can see the leads that we are sending the campaign. I'd like to add these prospects to this campaign so we can also send them the outreach campaign. So on automation, on Monday, I'll search for list boards items. Here I'm going to choose my connection. We can limit this to 2 for now. Here I'm going to choose our prospect first lines board. I'm going to choose the columns I would like to output. First column, I'm going to output the business industry. Also going to output challenges they're facing. We're also going to output the email. Yeah, first line, first name, last name, and the target audience. Then here I'm going to click on save. Can run this module and save. We're going to get our prospects. So we got our prospects right here. Now we can add them to our campaign on Lemlist. So I'll search for Lemlist. Click on Lemlist. And we can add leads in our campaign. Yeah, we also need to create a connection between your Lemlist account and Make.com account. To do that, click on Add, name your connection. Then from Lemlist, add API key over here. And click on Save. And your connection will be created. I'm going to choose the campaign that I would like to add our leads, which is this campaign right here. I'm going to add the email address over here, which is this email address, first name, last name. You can also add the company name, title, LinkedIn URL, picture font, campaign domain, and icebreaker. You can add the icebreaker right here and click on Save. And now to add the 2 leads to campaign on Lemlist, I'll run this automation. You can see we added our 2 leads to our campaign. Now on our campaign, you can see we added the 2 leads over here, David Brown and Dennis. Here's the email addresses over here. And now to launch the campaign, click on the next step. And here you can choose to launch the campaign for the 4 leads over here by clicking on launch for 4 leads. By creating this simple automation on Make, we automated the email sending process for cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is the meeting scheduling process. We'll create an automation that sends a booking URL when the prospect expresses interest, and then send a Slack notification to the team to follow up with this prospect. So on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to meeting scheduling. And here, I'll create a webhook that will be triggered when the status of one of our prospects changes to schedule meeting. So here, I'll click on webhook, then click on custom webhook. Here I'll click on add, and I'll rename our webhook to meeting scheduling. Click on save, copy the link to our webhook and click on save, and run our webhook. And then on Monday on our prospects board, I'll click on integrate, click on more integrations. Here I'll click on webhooks. I'll use this as our template. I'll use another account and paste our webhook URL right here. Click on connect. It says fail to communicate to the URL provided. We'll return this string using our webhook response. So on webhooks, I'll click on webhook response, and here We'll add our string and click on save. I'll run our webhook, and on Monday I'll click on connect. Our response ran successfully, so I'll delete it and run our. Yeah, I like to send a webhook on the status of one of our prospects changes to schedule meeting, and I'll click on create automation. To test it, I'll change the status of one of our prospects to schedule meeting. You can see our webhook ran successfully. We got the prospect whose status we just changed. To get the rest of the information, I'll copy this pulse ID, then I'll add another module, and on Monday, I'll search for get an item module. I'll choose my connection. For the ID, I'll add the pulse ID, choose our board right here, and choose our prospect's board. Click on save. Then I'll run the module by pasting our pulse ID right here and click on OK. You can see we're getting the first name, last name, and the email of our prospect, and the information right here. Now, here, we can create a scheduling link for them to schedule for a meeting. So I'm going to use Calendly. Then on Calendly, I'm going to click on create a scheduling link module. For the event count, I'm going to choose 1. For the event type, I'm going to choose the strategy session event. You can rename this to strategy session. Then click on OK. Now we can send the link to our prospect via email, to meeting scheduling email. And then here, we're going to add our prospect email address over here. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of let's book a time. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. The content of this email could be in the lines of hi, first name. Great to hear you're interested. I'll have to walk you through how we can help. On our call, I'll share how we structure our outreach campaigns, what results you can expect, and answer any questions you might have. You can pick a time that works best for you over here. Then here, we're going to add the booking URL created on Calendly. Once you book, you'll get a calendar invite to the meeting details. Looking forward to connecting and seeing how we can make these work for your business. Let me know if you need a different time, and I'll do my best to accommodate. Best, Brandon. Click on save. We can also send a team notification to our team via Slack to follow up with these prospects. I'm going to use Slack. So here, I'll add another module and search for Slack. Then on Slack, I'll click on create a message. I'll rename our module to team notification. Choose my connection. Channel type, I'm going to choose public channel and choose our team's channel right here. Here, I'll rename our module to team notification. And we can send them this team notification on Slack, where we're telling them, hey team, our client's first name just expressed interest in our services and has been sent the booking URL. Let's make sure to follow up if they haven't scheduled a call within 48 hours. Here are their details, their name, their challenges, industry, and target audience, so including the action steps, where we're telling our team to check if they've booked a call. If no booking after 1 day, send a follow-up email. If they reply with questions, prioritize a quick response. Let's keep them engaged. Feel free to drop a message if you need any context. Brandon, I'm going to click on save. To test if automation works, I'll run it. And then on Monday, on one of our prospects, I'll change the status to schedule meeting. You can see that automation ran successfully. We triggered our webhook after we changed the status of one of our prospects to schedule meeting. We generated a scheduling link that we send them via the meeting scheduling email. This is the subject line of the email. This is the email content with the link for them to schedule for a meeting attached to the email. We're also notifying our team by sending them this notification over here about the prospect, telling them to follow up with the prospect, see if they've scheduled the meeting. By creating this simple automation on Make, we've automated the meeting scheduling process for cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is a cold call script generation process. We'll create an automation that generates cold call scripts for sales reps before calling the leads. The automation will pull prospects data from Monday to customize the script and then auto send the script to the sales rep before their scheduled call. To automate this process on our cold outreach agency, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to cold call scripts. And then on Monday, we're going to start by listing our boards items for our prospects. So I'll search for list boards, items, module. Here I'm going to choose my connection. For the board ID, I'm going to choose our prospects board right here. And here I'm going to choose the columns that I would like to output. I'm going to output the business industry column, challenges column, the email column, the first name, their last name, and their target audience. Then click on save. You can run this module and see if we're going to get our outputs. Here you can see we're getting our prospects with the information over here. With our prospects information right here, we can use AI to generate call scripts for us. So I'll add another module and search for Gemini. Then on Gemini, I'm going to click on create a completion. Yeah, I'm going to rename our module to generate call scripts. I'm going to choose the latest AI model and add a prompt for the user role. Message type, I'm going to choose text, and the prompt could be the lines of generate a cold call script for a sales rep reaching out to a prospect. Use the following prospect data to personalize the script. Here we're going to add the business industry, the target audience, and the challenges they're facing. The script should be concise, engaging, and structured as follows. We're going to have a friendly introduction that grabs attention and establishes rapport. We're also going to clearly explain how a solution addresses their specific challenges. We're also going to have a question to engage them and uncover their needs. And lastly, we're going to have a compelling reason for the prospect to book a meeting or take the next step. Also, instructing the AI to keep the tone professional yet conversational, avoiding pushy sales language. The script should feel natural, relevant, and focus on solving the problems rather than just making a sale. And then I'm going to click on save. After we've generated our script, we're going to add the script to a Google Docs file. So I'll search for Google Docs and then click on create a document. I'm going to choose my connection right here, and we can name our document as a prospects cold call script. Then here we're going to add the content, which will be the results after we generated using our AI. We're going to choose our documents location. I'm going to choose to add it on the files folder. Click on save. And here, I'll rename this to cold call script. Then click on OK. Now we can send our script to our sales rep via email. I'll rename our email module to cold call script email. And here we're going to add the email address of our sales rep. And then the subject line of the email could be in the lines of cold call script for your upcoming call. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. And the content of the email could be in the lines of hidden. You have a scheduled call upcoming, and we've prepared a cold call script to help you navigate the conversation smoothly. You can access the script right here. We're going to add the web view link of the script. Let me know if you need any adjustments or have any questions before the call. Good luck, best, and on here I'm going to click on OK. Now to test if automation works, I'm going to run it. Here you can see the AI generated a script for both of our prospects over here. This is the first cold call script it generated for us over here, giving us the opening, value proposition, qualifying question, a call to action, and a softer call to action over here. And then adding the script to our Google Docs file and sending the script to our sales rep. Also generating a second cold call script for a second prospect over here with an opening, value proposition, qualifying question, and call to action. This is the email that we're sending our second cold call script. And this is the email that we're sending our first cold call script. So we can copy the link of the script and open the link on a new tab. Yeah, you can see the two cold call scripts the AI generated for us over here. And this is the second one for Danny over here. So by creating this simple automation on Make.com, we've automated the cold call script generation process for a cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate in this video is the data extraction from client calls process. Here, we'll create an automation that uses Fireflies.ai to auto-transcribe and analyze discovery calls for better personalization. Automation will also summarize the key points and add the summaries to Monday. To automate this process, on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to data extraction from client calls. Here, we're going to start by listing our prospects from Monday. So on Monday, I'm going to search for list both items. Here I'll choose my connection and limit it to 1. I'm going to choose our prospects board over here. Choose the prospect board, and then I'll choose the columns that I would like to output from this board. The first column that we're going to output is the email. Also going to output their first name and their last name over here, and click on save. Since we would like to analyze the discovery calls of our clients or prospects, we're going to use Fireflies.ai. So I'll add another module and search for Fireflies.ai. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to list our transcript. Now, here you'll also need to create a connection between your Fireflies account and Make.com account by clicking on Add, then rename your connection. Then from Fireflies, add the API key over here and click on Save to create a connection between Fireflies and Make. Here we're going to add our user ID, which I'm going to choose over here. Now here you can add the title, host email, the date, and the participant email right here. You can limit it to 1 and click on Save. We can test automation by running it. Now, after we've listed our transcripts on Fireflies, we're going to get our recent transcript. So on Fireflies, I'll click on Get a Transcript. I'm going to add our transcript ID and then click on Save. And here, we'll set up a filter and label this to Recent Transcript. And here we can see that the recent transcript exists and click on Save. Now, here we're grabbing our recent transcript. Now, with our transcript, we're going to use Gemini to generate a summary of our call from our transcript. So I'll search for Gemini, click on Google Gemini, then click on Create a Completion. On Gemini, we're going to choose the latest AI model, which is Gemini 2.0. Here we're going to add a prompt for our user role. Message type, we're going to choose text, and the prompt could be on the lines of analyze the following discovery call transcript to extract key insights for better personalization. Here we're going to add our call transcript right here. Identify the prospect's main pain point, objections, and areas of interest. Summarize the call with a focus on. Number 1, it's what challenges or frustrations did the prospect mention? Any hesitation or roadblocks they brought up? What solutions, features, or benefits stood out to them? And then any agreed upon actions or follow-ups. We're also instructing the AI to provide a concise summary with actionable insights that can be used to personalize future outreach. Keep it structured, clear, and easy to reference. I'm going to click on Save. I'll rename this module to Generate Call Summary and click on OK. And how we can add the generated call summary to a board that we created on Monday. So on Monday, I've created a board that I've renamed to Call Outreach Agency Prospects Call Summary. This is the board that we're going to add our call summary after we generated it using AI. So here on Monday, I'm going to search for Create an Item module. For the item name, we can add the title of our call over here. For the board ID, I'm going to choose the Call Outreach Agency Prospects Call Summary. The group ID, I'm going to choose the Prospects Call Summary board. We're going to add values to our column on Monday with the data that we're getting from our prospects board and the summary that we generated using AI. So for the call summary, we're going to add the results over here that we generated using AI. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the email column. And we're going to add the email address for Monday over here. And also going to add the email as a text. Then I'll add a new item and choose a column. And choose the first name column. I'm going to add the value for the first name over here. And I'll add a new item, choose a new column, and choose the value for the last name. And then click on Save. Now to test if automation works, I'll run automation. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we listed our prospects and listed our transcripts on Firefly. We then got our recent transcript and generated a call summary of the transcript, then added the summary to our board on Monday. Board, you can see we added the title of the call, first name, last name, and email of our prospect, the call summary right here. So this was the reason why it did not generate a summary of our call is because this call never happened. So we never got this transcript. But if we had the transcript, the AI would have generated a call summary for us, and we'll have added the summary over here. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we've automated the data extraction from clients' calls for a cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate is the content distribution process, where we'll create an automation that auto-distributes blog posts to Reddit, LinkedIn, and Twitter. To automate the content distribution process, on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on Create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to content distribution. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to search for WordPress. Then here I'm going to watch for posts. I'm going to use this as our trigger. And here I'll add another module. And then now on, we'd like to post our blog post to 3 social media platforms. I'm going to add 3 rules over here. And here we're going to use AI to generate a Twitter post from our blog post on WordPress. So here I'll click on create a completion. Here I'll rename this to create. Here I'll rename this module to create a Twitter post. Over here, we can do the same with LinkedIn. We can do the same with Reddit. Where I'll rename this module to create a Reddit post. Then click on OK. You can do the same with LinkedIn. Then I'll rename this to create a LinkedIn post. And click on OK. After we've created our Twitter post, Reddit, and LinkedIn, using can proceed to post on our various social media platforms. First one would be Twitter, so I'll search for Twitter. Click on it. I'll click on create a post module. You can do the same with Reddit. On Reddit, I'll click on submit a post. Do the same with LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'll create a user text post over here. By creating this simple automation on Make over here, we'll be able to automate creation of social media posts from a blog post that we post on WordPress. So if we post on WordPress, we're going to use AI to generate a Twitter post, Reddit post, and LinkedIn post to post on Twitter, Reddit, and LinkedIn. So by creating this simple automation, we've automated the content distribution process for cold outreach agency. The next process that we're going to automate in this video for cold outreach agency is the upselling process. Here we'll create an automation that sends personalized upsell emails to the client when a campaign ends. So on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'm going to rename our scenario to upselling automation. And here I'll create a webhook that will be triggered after the status of one of our clients changes to upselling. So here I'll click on webhooks, then click on custom webhook. I'll click on add, then I'll rename our webhook to upselling webhook, and then click on save. I'll copy the link to our webhook and click on save. Then I'll run our webhook. Then on Monday on our clients board, I'll click on integrate and then click on more integrations. Here I'll click on webhooks. Then I'll use this as our template. Here I'll use another account and paste the webhook URL over here and click on connect. It says failed to communicate with the URL provided. Here we'll return this string using a webhook response. So on webhooks, I'll click on webhook response. Here I'll call it braces and write challenge over here and add our string over here and click on save. Then I'll run our webhook again. Then on Monday, I'll click on connect. You can see our response ran successfully, so I'll delete it and run our webhook again. And then here, I like to send a webhook on the status of one of our clients changes to upselling. Then I'll click on create automation. I'll test if our webhook works. I'll change the status of one of our clients to upselling. And you can see we got the specific client whose status just changed. To get the rest of their data, I'll copy this pulse ID. Then I'll add another module. Then on Monday, I'm going to search for get an item module. Click on get an item. Here I'll choose my connection. And then for the ID, we're going to add the pulse ID. Our board, I'm going to choose our client's board right here. And then click on save. Yeah, I'll run this module by placing our post ID right here and click on OK. And then here you can see we're getting our client's information right here, like their first name, last name, the email, and the rest of the information over here. Yeah, we can now create a scheduling link for our clients to schedule for a call to talk more about the service that we're upselling them. For example, so here I'll search for Calendly, then click on create a scheduling link module. Event card, I'm going to choose one. For the event type, I'm going to choose strategy session and click on save. Yeah, I'll rename this to strategy session. Click on OK. Now we can send them the strategy session link via an upselling email. The email address, we're going to add our client's email address right here. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of next steps for your cold outreach strategy. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. The content of this email could be in the lines of hi, first name. I hope you're doing well. Your cold outreach campaigns have now wrapped up, and we've seen some great results. I wanted to check in and discuss how we can build on this momentum. Based on your campaign performance, we recommend expanding outreach to a new audience segment and running a follow-up sequence for warmer leads. This will help increase conversions, generate more qualified leads, and improve engagement with potential clients. Would you be open to a quick call to go over the next steps? You can book a time that works best for you over here. Here we're going to add the booking URL from Calendly. Then we're concluding the email by saying, looking forward to continuing to grow your pipeline. Let me know if you have any questions. Best regards, Brandon. Here I'm going to click on save. Let's see if automation works. I'm going to run it. Then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to upselling. You can see that our automation ran successfully. To get our webhook after we change the status of one of our clients to upselling, we got their data, created a scheduling link, and sent the scheduling link to our clients via the upsell email with the subject line and this email content right here for them to schedule a call to talk more about the upsell services that we're upselling our clients. So by creating this simple automation on Make, we'll have automated the upselling process for a cold outreach agency. The last process that we're going to automate in this video, social proof and testimonial collection process for a cold outreach agency, where we'll create an automation that sends testimonial request email to our clients. And if the client leaves a review, we'll log the review into our CRM and send them a thank you email. To automate the social proof and testimonial collection process, on our cold outreach agency folder, I'll click on create a new scenario. I'll rename our scenario to social proof and testimonial collection. And here, create a webhook that will be triggered after the status of one of our clients changes to send feedback. So I'll click on webhooks and click on custom webhook. I'll click on add, then I'll rename our webhook to client feedback. Then click on save. I'll copy the link to our webhook and click on save and run our webhook. Then on Monday, on our clients board, I'll click on integrate, click on more integrations, and then click on webhooks. Here, I'll use this as our template. I'll use another account and paste the webhook URL over here and click on connect. It says failed to communicate with the URL provided. Here, we'll return our string using a webhook response. So on webhooks, I'll click on webhook response. And then here, I'll add call it braces and write challenge right here. Add our string, click on save, then run our webhook again. On Monday, I'll click on connect. Our response ran successfully, so I'll delete it and run our webhook to test it. We'll need to set up our webhook first. So I like to send our webhook on the status of one of our clients changes to send feedback. And then I'll click on create automation. To test it, I'll change the status of one of our clients to send feedback. You can see our webhook ran successfully. We got the specific client whose status we just changed. To get the rest of the information, I'll copy this pulse ID. And then on Monday, I'll search for get an item module. Click on get an, and here I'll choose my connection. For the ID, I'm going to add the pulse ID. Then choose our board right here. I'm going to choose the client's board. Should be this board right here and click on save. And now here, we can run this module by pasting our pulse ID right here and click on OK. Now you can see we're getting the information right here. Now with their data, we can send them a client feedback survey form that we created on Typeform for them to fill in and give us feedback on our services. So on Typeform, I've created a survey form that I've renamed to Cold Outreach Feedback Survey Form. This is the form that we're going to attach to our email and send it to our client for them to fill in and give us feedback on our services. On this form, we are asking our clients a series of questions. The first question that we're asking them is for them to fill in their personal information on this form. Here, they're going to fill in their first name, last name, and the email address. Second question that we're asking them is, are you satisfied with our services? Here, they're going to choose the yes or no options over here. The third question that we're asking them is, are you likely to recommend our services to others? Here, they're going to choose the yes or no options over here. The third question that we're asking them is, did we communicate well through the project? Here, they're going to type in the answer over here. The fifth question that we're asking them is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience with our services? Here, they're going to type in the answer over here. And the last question that we're asking them is, do you have any suggestions for improving our services? And here, they're going to type in the suggestions. So here, I'll click on share to copy the ID of this form, the link to our form. We're going to copy the last part of our link. This is the unique ID of this form. And then on Make, I'll add another module and search for Typeform. On Typeform, I'm going to get a form. And then here, I'm going to choose my connection and add the unique ID that we just copied from Typeform over here. Here, we can run this module and see we're going to get our form. You can see we're getting our cold outreach agency feedback survey form. This is the link that we're going to send to our client via email. We can see the unique ID that we copied over here. So here, I'll rename this module to feedback survey form and click on OK. Now we can send the feedback survey form to clients via email. Now, For email module, I'm going to rename it to client feedback email. Now email address, and then on the email address, we're going to add our client's email address from Monday. Subject line of this email could be the lines of share your experience with the Lux agency. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. The content of this email could be the lines of hi, first name. We've loved working with you and we'll really appreciate your feedback on your experience with the Lux agency. Your insights help us improve and also serve as valuable social proof for others considering our services. Do you mind taking a minute to fill out this short form? Here we're going to add the link to our form. Should be this link over here. If you'd also be open to sharing a testimonial, would love to feature your success story. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks in advance. I truly appreciate your time. Where's Brandon? I'm going to click on save. Now to test if automation works, I'm going to run it. And then on Monday, I'll change the status of one of our clients to send feedback. You can see that automation ran successfully. We triggered our webhook after we changed the status of one of our clients to send feedback, and then we grabbed the information from Monday. We also got our feedback survey form that we created on Typeform, and then we sent the feedback survey form to our client using the details that we grabbed on Monday via the client feedback email over here, with the subject line and this email content over here, with the link of the form for them to fill in and give us feedback of our services on our services. Another automation that captures the client feedback that they submit via our form and add the feedback to a client feedback board that I've created on our cold outreach agency. I'll click on create a new scenario. On Monday, I've created a board that I've renamed to cold outreach agency clients feedback board. This is where we're going to add our client feedback after we captured our client feedback via using Typeform. We're going to add the client full name, first name, last name, email, if they were satisfied, if they recommend our agency, if we had effective communication, the experience, and any suggestions that they might have. To create this automation, we're going to start by watching our client's responses on Typeform. Here I'm going to choose my connection, limit it to 1, and choose our form right here. Our form is the feedback survey form, and here I'm going to click on save, and then here I'll choose to start from now and click on save. Now on Typeform, I'll copy the link of our feedback survey form and open the link on a new tab. Here we're going to fill in our form this time around as a so their first name could be Dan, last name Jones, and the email address could be danjones@danx.com. Here I'm going to click on OK. Are you satisfied with our services? You can say yes. Are you likely to recommend our services to others? Yes. Did we communicate well throughout the project? I'll say yes. Click on OK. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience with our services? Say I loved working with you guys a lot. As the answer, click on OK. Do you have any suggestions for improving our services? No, working with you was seamless. Then I'll click on submit. I'll run this module to see if we've captured our client's feedback. You can see we captured our client's feedback right here. And here's the feedback that they submitted via our link. With their feedback, we can proceed to add the feedback to our board on Monday. So I'll add another module. And then on tools, I'm going to delay for 3 seconds to give Typeform some time to populate our client feedback. Then we can proceed and add the feedback to our board on Monday. So I'll search for create an item module. I'm going to choose my connection. For the HM name, I'm going to add the first and last name of our client, which is Dan Jones. Board ID, I'm going to choose our feedback board this time around. Right here. Group ID, I'm going to choose a client feedback list. And then here, we're going to add values to our columns on our board on Monday with our client feedback that we captured on Typeform. So here, I'll add an item and choose a new column. I'm going to choose a communication column. Here, we're going to add the value for the communication right here. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the email column and add the value for the email right here. You can also add the email as a text. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the experience column. Here, we're going to add the value for the experience. Then I'll add a new item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the first name column. And I'm going to add the value for the first name, which is Dan. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the last name column. Add the value for the last name, which is Jones. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the recommendation column. Then I'll add the value for the recommendation right here. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the satisfaction column. Then I'll add the value for the satisfaction. Then I'll add an item, choose a new column. I'm going to choose the suggestion column. Then add the value for the suggestion over here and click on save. After we've added our client feedback to our feedback board on Monday, we can send the client a thank you email for filling in our form and giving us feedback on our services. So I'll rename our email module to thank you email. Then here we're going to add our client's email address over here as the recipient. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of thank you for your feedback. Content type, we're going to choose plain text. The content of this email could be in the lines of hi, first name. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for filling out our form and sharing your feedback. Your insights mean a lot to us, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to help us improve and showcase the impact of our work together. If there's anything else we can do to support you, do not hesitate to reach out. Looking forward to continuing our partnership and driving even more results for your business. Best, Brandon. And I'm going to click on save. Now, to test if automation works, I'm not going to fill in our form again, but instead I'm going to choose our previous submission. So I'll choose where to start, choose manually, choose our submission right here that we did earlier, and then how to test if automation works, I'll run it. You can see that automation ran successfully. Here we captured our client's feedback, delayed for 3 seconds, and then added the feedback to our board on Monday. And then send the client a thank you email with the subject line and this email content over here. Now, on our client feedback board on Monday, you can see we added a new client feedback over here. The client was Dan Jones. Here's their first name, their last name, and the email address. And you can see their feedback right here. So they were satisfied. They recommend our agency. Our communication was effective. Here they're adding the experience with us and any suggestions that they may have to our agency. So by creating these two automations on Make.com, we've automated the social proof and testimonial collection process for a cold outreach agency. So these were all the processes for cold outreach agency that we automated in this video. Last automation that we created was an automation that adds the client's contact information that we captured using on Typeform to our client's board on Monday. This automation also creates a scheduling call link and sends the consultation call link to our clients via a confirmation email. The second automation that we created in this video was a client onboarding automation. This automation creates an onboarding call link, a contract, and downloads a contract and sends the onboarding call link and the contract to our client via the onboarding email. We're also asking our client to join a Slack channel that we created via email. The automation that we created in this video was a client invoicing and payment handling automation. This automation generates an invoice on Stripe and sends the invoice to our client via the invoice email. This automation also sends a payment reminder email to our client if after the due date they wouldn't have paid their invoice. The fourth automation that we created in this video was a first line writing automation. Here we're using AI to generate first lines of our prospects and adding the first lines to a board that we created on Monday. The fifth automation that we created in this video was an email sending automation. With this automation, we are adding our prospects from Monday into a campaign on Lemlist. The sixth automation that we created in this video was a meeting scheduling automation. This automation is triggered after a prospect shows interest in our services. And then we're creating a strategy session link on Calendly and sending the link to our prospect via the meeting scheduling email. We're also notifying our team via Slack to follow up with these prospects since they have showed interest in our services. The seventh automation that we created in this video was a cold call scripts automation. This automation automatically generates cold call scripts using AI and then send the cold call scripts that we generated to our sales rep via a cold call script email. The eighth automation that we created in this video was data extraction from client calls automation. With this automation, we are listing transcripts on Firefly and then generating call summaries from the transcripts and adding the summaries to a board that we created on Monday. The ninth automation that we created in this video was a content distribution automation. This automation creates social media posts from a blog post that we posted on WordPress. The 10th automation that we created in this video was an upselling automation. This automation sends our client an upsell email with a strategy session link them to schedule for a call to discuss more about the services that we are selling them. The 11th automation that we created in this video was a social proof and testimonial collection automation. With this automation, we're getting a feedback survey form that we created on Typeform and sending the feedback survey form to our client via the client feedback email. And the last automation that we created in this video was an automation that adds the client feedback we captured on Typeform to our client feedback board on Monday. We're also sending the client a thank you email, thanking them for filling in the form and giving us feedback on our services. These are all the automations that we created in this video, automating processes for a cold outreach agency. If you have an automation or a system in mind that you'd like for me to create, just comment down below in the comment section. And if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire system or automation from scratch. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.